to your team, you sacrifice everything and you win now. You get that one more title, and then let LeBron leave. He brought two titles to the land.
What would you do differently? Because you're still going to have the contract for Crowder and for Isaiah Thomas probably after LeBron leaves. So you've still got most of, quote unquote, most of the team that you're going to have now.
But that's that's a bridge you cross when you come to it. Right now, you're just trying to win. You're trying to get the title, and then you go into rebuild mode after LeBron leaves.
And that's the thing. I think the Cavaliers are better suited to match up with the Warriors with this trade because of Jay Crowder. And I think Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving are a wash for when LeBron is on the floor. It's when LeBron is off the floor that I'm going to trust Isaiah Thomas more to control the game than I am Kyrie Irving. At least at this point.
Right, but how often is IT going to be on the floor when LeBron's not? They're both starting.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta give LeBron more time off, and then don't take them off at the same time.
Yeah,
and I think
I did hear an argument about bringing in possibly another point and having IT just play sixth man at like 35 minutes a night and just be sixth man of the year, because he would totally dominate, the bench of another team.
But what point guard would they use? Who is possibly willing to get rid of a point guard?
Well, yeah, okay. LeBron, just bring in another player. And
so then here's what you do. Tell Isaiah Thomas, you're a shooting guard while I'm on the court. I'm the point guard. When I'm off the court, you're the point guard. Just let him know there's a defined role at different times, and he's good. I'm sure he'll be completely fine with it as long as he makes his money,
one good thing.
B, wins his championship.
They do have that versatility. I think they need one more piece that can either really help defensively and not be a black hole on offense, or they need someone that's a decent two-way player at minimum.
Well, I mean, they have a guy, if he can stay healthy, who is not a liability on offense. I mean, he doesn't score, but it's not a missing piece that plays defense. Bogut. If he can stay healthy,
that's true.
He's the
that's
guy.
True.
They literally brought him in.
Bogut last year.
They literally brought him in to play defense to guard.
And then he for this. I honestly forgot about him, to be perfectly honest, because he wasn't, ever on the floor after like a game with them.
And then also you have a ton of pieces that you can trade. Like, do they really want Kevin Love in Cleveland? Doesn't seem like it. Go to let's see, you want someone defensive? Go to the Thunder and say, hey, we'll take either Enes Kanter or Steven Adams, and here's what we'll give you: Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson.
Not to mention too,
I don't think Adams or Kanter are worth Love and Thompson. Thompson's not great, but
they want to get rid of both of them.
Defense, and Love is still a double guy. He was fine for the most part.
They were willing to shop him out for next to nothing.
I mean, yeah, he has a contract that's not the friendliest, but they can. I think they would get a better return than that.
I think he ends up being a Knick at some point in the near future. Kevin Love. I feel like he gets traded to the Knicks.
Hey, maybe they'll give us him in the draft pick, and we can convince Melo to go there.
Yeah, maybe.
Melo wants to win a championship. There's your best freaking chance.
Yeah.
Potentially, as we now have Tony with us tonight.
What's up?
All right, so we're just finishing up talking about the botched Isaiah Thomas.
Possibly botched.
Yeah, draft.
Possibly trade, possibly not.
Did you guys discuss Mayweather McGregor before?
Not yet.
We got here.
Not
yet.
Good. Before we get to that, I want to reread the poem.
Okay, yeah. I want to hear it.
All right, this one's called "It's a Jersey Thing." Who is worse, Rutgers or the Jets? At their respective levels, they're as bad as it gets. Who will have more wins? I cannot tell. These teams are the epitome of football fans' hell. Are they lovable losers or just down on their luck? Are they missing a couple pieces or do they just suck? When all is said and done, Rutgers wins more games. Sports reporters don't even know the Jets QB's name. Some say McCowan, some say McNown. Do some stinking research. His name is Josh McCown. It's safe to say that neither team will come close to winning a ring, but neither will the Giants. It's a Jersey thing. So
the Jets are not worse comparatively than Rutgers is in football. The even if the Jets are second worst out of 32, that's still far better than worst out of however
thing,
many.
Rutgers can play FCS teams. The Jets still play professionals.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, Rutgers is just never. Listen, the Jets will eventually correct their issues. It's going to be rebuilding. It's going to take some time. I don't know that Rutgers football will ever be good.
They will. No, they will, because they're now just starting to get the prestige of being in the Big Ten.
Hey, 5-star guy, do you want to go to Miami or Texas, or would you like to go to Jersey?
Hey, 4-star quarterback, do you want to go sit on the bench at Alabama, or do you want to start right away in Rutgers?
I'd probably rather sit on the bench at Alabama, to be honest.
You're the third 4-star quarterback recruit that we've signed.
Or maybe, get the second bench start at, another top-tier school.
I don't know.
You did say the same thing about being drafted, that you don't get a choice when you're drafted.
All right, so we're going to move beyond that, and we're going to talk about the fight. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. I did not watch it on Saturday, but some people were kind enough to put that fight on YouTube. So I did watch it.
Yeah.
First, I know that Floyd Mayweather carried him, and Floyd allowed him to fight his fight, but incredible. I loved every minute that I watched. Not even kidding, I loved it. And there were parts when, I'm not even kidding, I seriously thought Mayweather might be in trouble. Mm-hmm. I pinpointed 2 specific areas, and we'll get to them because I'm going to break this down round by round.
Okay.
God.
My reaction overall, yeah, I definitely, enjoyed watching it, but my reaction at the result was just simply duh. This to me did what I expected, and it mirrored kind of the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, where Mayweather does what he does and he just plays defense. And yeah, you can have strong hits and you can hit him a lot, but you're never getting really good hits except for here and there. McGregor had one great uppercut that looked like it could have changed the fight had he been able to capitalize on that, because you get that and then you have an overhand
that is
solid blow, and that could have changed the fight. But first round, very first round, that's the first first key part. So I'll start doing that. My notes: round 1, Conor came out extremely aggressive. He got Floyd into a corner really early and landed a ton of punches. Floyd was very defensive and he took a bunch of hits. Conor seemed very, very cocky, which is Conor McGregor.
101.
Yeah. And he's very quick. I'm surprised at how fast his punches were coming.
Yeah.
37 seconds remaining in the first round. He hit him in the back, not quite in the corner, but against the ropes. Hit Mayweather with a left uppercut, and then came around with a right and just barely missed.
Yeah.
If he landed that shot clean, that screws up Mayweather for the entire first round. And I think that's the first point where I thought, man, McGregor might actually have a chance. If he had connected that, he's a knockout guy. So I think there's a possibility that he could have knocked Mayweather out right there.
Right.
Ended that fight quick, which is what he said he wanted to do in the first 4 rounds.
Which is exactly what your strategy should be when you're a UFC guy and your whole life has been about, 3 to 5 rounds.
Yeah. Boxing is the sweet science. MMA, whether it's UFC, Bellator, whatever other company, is knock him out before he knocks me out. That's really the whole thing, in my opinion, which I'm not saying is bad. I think, it's more primal more intense to go in with that mindset, knock them out or break their arm before they do it to me.
Yeah, well, also, you have to know going in that Floyd is a technical fighter. He
looks slow.
He sacrifices the early rounds to get your strategy down
and to gas you.
Yeah, and then he comes out when you're tired. He's just getting warmed up. He was a little slower.
He looked 40. He really did.
He's 40. He didn't look 40 toward the end of the fight though, and he can still, take those shots.
No, I think he still looked 40. I just think Conor McGregor looked 50.
But McGregor is essentially from a pure boxing standpoint, a novice. From a pure boxing standpoint, yes, he's done boxing for a long time as part of UFC.
Yeah,
but it's never been his concentration. Right, but boxing is so technical. It's one, it's obviously like one of the oldest sports out there, and that's a huge advantage to Floyd. Is it's obviously his sport. I think if you expected McGregor to win before the fight started, then you're insane. During the fight, there were certain parts where it looked like there might have been a chance there, but he did the Pacquiao mistake of hitting too much and not connecting enough solid hits. You're getting glancing blows at angles that aren't really powerful. You're hitting his gloves. When you go for the body, you're hitting his elbows. You're not getting a lot of good connecting strikes, and you're tiring yourself out way more than he is by just dodging and ducking and weaving.
I did like his strategy at first of holding the one glove out and then just doing the quick jabs. I thought that was smart. Problem is he didn't
his distance.
He didn't stick with it.
No, but I think if you look back at the fight, and probably your round by round breakdown is going to say this. McGregor knew he had to expend himself in the beginning, and that's what he did. You can see him get tired throughout the fight. It was his fatigue and the worry of can he go 10, 12 rounds, which being a 12-round bout, he almost made it to a 10-round, but
you making as far as he did was
tired.
Impressive for a novice versus the master.
A Hall of Fame, undefeated, best ever at his weight class, best ever at multiple weight classes, boxer.
Yeah, I think, and a guy that's an amateur as far as the sport's concerned.
Even Floyd Mayweather had said, I did not expect him to be that good. And that was, clearly he's got to hype it up and stuff, but I think, I don't think it was fixed.
I don't think it was fixed. And for what it's worth, I think that this fight was a better fight than Pacquiao. McGregor actually brought it to him.
He landed more punches.
Mayweather had to do more in this fight than he had to do against Pacquiao. It didn't last nearly as long, but he had to do more to avoid some of those shots.
Technical.
The one thing I noticed that I didn't care for was there were a couple of hammer fists in the beginning that came
not
down.
just the beginning, a lot.
Right, but as the fight went on, it wasn't necessarily a hammer fist as much as it was Floyd Mayweather obsessively ducking down to try and get that out of him.
From what I understand, and I don't have any really credible source except for things that I had read on Twitter from people who are quote unquote at the fight, I guess. The judges stopped deducting points on that for those hits because because Floyd was baiting him into it.
Yeah, he was waiting and then dropping so it would hit the top and back of his
head.
And
you could hear the ref telling him to keep his head up throughout the entire fight. So that's actually, we're going to talk about that in just a second. I think we all agreed Conor won first round.
Yeah, first and second, I would say.
I got Conor winning the first four.
I was going to say Conor probably had the advantage up until middle of the third.
From a technical boxing standpoint, I would say the first two definitely. I don't know what the judges ended up saying per round, but
they had I think they had Conor winning the first three. I think they had Floyd and Conor tied for the fourth.
Okay. And that was really when you saw him start to get gassed and when you saw Floyd start to get a lot more confident.
I mean, when you land 100...
Well, it was just a lot easier for Floyd. He stopped having to avoid as many punches. He let him tire himself out towards the end, and then